felt myself putting this off. I knew I was going to talk about this. And then I had a moment where I went, no. You've been conditioned to not talk about certain things, but it's okay to talk about it. So I'm going to talk about it. If you didn't know, I was in a band called Smile Smile with my ex-fiance. That full story is a story for another time. It got so bad, I told my management and my record label that I was depressed, I was suicidal. That's no joke. That's not me being dramatic. Those were real feelings, and it was very scary. And when I shared that information, what they ended up doing was suing me. There's a lot more to the story, of course, but they told me I owed them a lot of money, sent me back on tour, and in the end, they sued me. So just to be clear, I told them I couldn't do it, that I was thinking about killing myself, and they said, nah, you owe us a lot of money. So if anybody is ever wondering how awful the music business can be, there's a little insight into the reality of how bad it can be. And I don't want to say I don't want to tell you this next part, but I just think a lot of people are going to be surprised. So there's a new song called Dreaming Screaming, right? I just announced a new album since unretiring from music. It's my first album in over 3 years, I think. And this is the first single off of it. Oops, there we go. When you put a new song out into the world, people ask you about it, especially if they relate to it lyrically. That song was written 12 or 13 years ago, the basic idea for it. And it was written in the aftermath of my old band Smile Smile. And I didn't know what I was going to do with my life. I had been given everything I ever wanted, a record deal, touring the world, selling a bunch of records. My dreams were right there. I was living my dream, and the big success was right on the horizon. And the flip side of that coin is I was miserable. I was doing it in a way that was very detrimental to my mental health, but they didn't care. They just wanted me to get out there and make the money. And that's the reality of the music business, especially back then. So when a song like Dreaming Screaming comes out, even though this is a new version with new lyrics, it's still attached to that time in my life that was so difficult. If you don't know the song, if somebody watches this and they go, who is this guy? What is he talking about? So the chorus of the song, Dreaming Screaming, is when you're dreaming but you're screaming and your nightmares are turning to stone, they hold you underwater till there's no hope left to float. That is 100% about my time in Smile Smile and watching my dreams attempt to kill me in a way. And that's a hard thing to admit, especially when you revisit and rewrite a song later in life. The really interesting thing to me is when I revisited that song and wrote new lyrics, because my younger self had gone through such a difficult time, and you fast forward 10 plus years, you've gone through other difficult times as a husband and a father, and the feeling is still the same. And that was very intense for me to relate to the song on a whole new, different level, because it had come from such a terrible time that I didn't know if I would survive in my life in my 20s. And now, the song with new lyrics, of course you try and make it relatable to everybody, which is what I did. I took my own difficulties, I do this a lot, and then try and make it a little more broad so more people can relate and understand the feeling of the song. But never did I ever think I would revisit a song from that long ago, from such a terrible time, have the courage, because it did feel like I had to be courageous, to revisit that pain, put it back together with new pain, and put the song out into the world. But, and I have to say this, I am so thankful for Wicked Cool Records. That's the record label I'm on. The people up there, they know a lot of my story and my struggles with the music business. I've been very vocal about it at times. And Stevie Van Zandt and Wicked Cool Records know how to take care of their artists. Because Stevie is, of course, an artist, and he knows what it's like to want to feel like and be, taken care of by your record label. So I think that's the big reason. I felt safe. I felt ready, and I felt safe in the opportunity to revisit that song in the pain and put it out into the world. And then the most rewarding thing ever is when the song does well, right? It's been out for a few weeks now, and it's doing incredible things, and that makes me feel good. Of course it does, right? Okay, I think that's probably enough for now. I'm realizing that these drives are going to be like therapy sessions, but I look forward to more. If you have any questions about Smile, Smile, feel free to ask. I guess maybe I should tell that full story next.